Now to international news. A desperate battle underway in Iraq as government forces try to push back the advance of Sunni militants. It is the third straight day of a fierce fight for control of the biggest oil refinery in Iraq. Meanwhile, the extremist group ISIS claims it has also seized most of the Tal Afar airport in northern Iraq. The U.S. is sending 300 military advisors to that country, but is reminding everyone no plans for any American combat troops. All right, we want to bring into this discussion from the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Senior Fellow, Dr. David Gartenstein-Ross. Dr. Gartenstein-Ross, let's talk about the threat that ISIS poses in Iraq. Do you think that we are seeing the beginning of a pushback by Iraqi forces that will continue?
No doubt. ISIS is overextended right now. It's dependent upon a coalition that's very fragile and that can fracture. They're going to get pushed back, no question. The question really is how much territory are they going to be able to retain? Earlier this year, on January 1st, they were able to mount an offensive that captured both Fallujah and Ramadi, and they were able to keep Fallujah from the beginning of the year up till now, which shows that they do have the ability to retain some territory. And the second question is, how much chaos are they going to be able to cause in the interim, meaning chaos in terms of sectarianism, Sunni and Shia revenge killings against each other, as well as perhaps taking out some of the critical needs of Iraqis, as they are in the process of doing right now with the attack on the Beijing facility that you mentioned.
Could one of the casualties of this be the PM in Iraq?
Yes, absolutely. And bad news from Maliki today is that the spiritual leader of the Shia, the #1 spiritual leader, Sistani, issued a statement that was very clearly a condemnation of Maliki, calling for people to come together to produce rule that everyone could be happy with, that could produce reconciliation, which is very clearly the same lines of criticism of Maliki as those that have been coming out of the United States. But here you have the top Shia spiritual figure criticizing the Shia prime minister, which means that there are certainly not just rumblings of discontent, but it's right now right up to Maliki's neck.
And my understanding is this Grand Ayatollah does not speak very often. Last time he did speak, he called for people to sort of join forces, take arms against these militants, and they did in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, that's precisely correct. And the two statements are extraordinarily consistent. I mean, a few people were seeing some inconsistency between them, but on the one hand, he wants people to fight ISIS. He's not calling for them to fight Sunnis in general. And on the other hand, he recognizes that there are very real problems in the country in terms of sectarianism, and that one of the drivers of these problems is Maliki's own rule.
Let's talk very quickly about what the U.S. contribution is so far. They're sending planes over to gather intelligence. They're sending military advisors. Do you think there will be a need for them to increase what they are sending, or do you think there will be a need for strikes?
We'll see. I mean, right now, what the Obama administration's approach here, as in many other theaters, is a piecemeal and pragmatic approach that involves on seeing how the situation develops. I think it's entirely possible that you'll see the U.S. carry out some airstrikes, possibly using drones. Iraq has put in an official request for that, and it seems that one of the reasons that the U.S. has been hesitant to do so is because it wants to put some pressure on what it sees as one of the root causes of this crisis.